In this Croatia travel guide, we showcase Korčula, the most beautiful island in Croatia. From a charming historical old town and boutique vineyards to pristine beaches and world-class cuisine, every day on Korčula has something wonderful to discover. If you only have time for one Croatian island to visit, this is it. To find out more about the best island in Croatia, keep watching this Croatia travel vlog. Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And we're back at This Travellers.
And we're coming to you from Korčula Island, Croatia. Korčula is a Croatian island on the Adriatic Sea found in the Dalmatia region of Croatia. Korčula is around 2.5 hours by ferry from the city of Split and 2 hours by ferry from the city of Dubrovnik.
If you're staying on Korčula Island, the most popular areas to stay are near the Korčula Old Town or in the scenic fishing village of Vela Luka on the other side of the island. Conveniently, there are ferries to both Vela Luka as well as Korčula Old Town from the mainland as well as from other Croatian islands. We caught a 1-hour ferry from Hvar to Vela Luka with Jadrolinija for 35 kuna each. Our onward journey to Dubrovnik from Korčula Old Town was with TP Line and cost 70 kuna each.
We're at the marina at Vela Luka, and just behind me is where you get your buses to go to Korčula Old Town. So the tickets are 45 kuna each, and you can buy them either on the bus as you arrive, you can buy them in the ticket booth just in the restaurant behind me, or you can buy them online. The island of Korčula is big enough to keep you busy, but small enough to get around easily. There are buses that can take you to major destinations on the island. If you prefer to go at your own pace, you can also rent many different types of vehicles such as bikes, cars, and motorcycles on the island. You can also bring vehicles across by ferry from the mainland. It takes about 1 hour to drive from one side of the island to the other.
Today's our first day in Korčula and it is a beautiful town. What really impressed me was coming on the bus ride on the way here from the other side of the island, Vela Luka. We have all of these impressive mountains that we go past, and then coming to the old town here in Korčula, it's just so pretty, and the architecture is very similar to Dubrovnik, so it's sometimes known as the mini Dubrovnik. So apparently, centuries ago when this was being built, anyone who came into the town had to bring at least one stone, and with those stones this town was made. So great way to source your materials, and look how beautiful it is.
One thing that is distinctly Croatian, which we love, is the profile of all the houses on the Croatian islands. So as you can see behind me, the houses are stone and they've all got these reddish orange roofs. Having such a similar style of house makes the area really cohesive, and we find it quite charming.
So one thing we found really fascinating about Korčula is that there are so many Australians here and so many people with connections to Australia.
Yeah, so our host Milica, she lives next door to Australians, so it's really fascinating and really nice to have that connection with Croatia.
And we have been seeing little hints of Australia all around the country. There's a popular dessert which is basically a lamington, which is an Australian dessert that's been imported here and is now popular in Croatia. There's also plants that we've seen that are from our home in Australia. So yeah, it feels really familiar here, which is really nice.
Korčula is just a magical area. So you can go for a swim pretty much anywhere along the coastline. We're about 20 minutes walk away from the old town, and we found a spot that we think's quite nice to have a little dip. So we're going to have a dip.
So this is the perfect place for a swim, and I can't wait to get into the water. Oh, but it's going to be cold.
Nice?
Yeah, it's good. The walls of the old town date back to medieval times in the 13th century. Most of the buildings were built in the 15th century by local stonemasons renowned across the Adriatic Sea for their work. What we found fascinating is that the streets were designed to shelter against both summer sun and cold winter winds. You can walk around for hours admiring the Venetian-inspired architecture. Key landmarks to visit are St. Mark's Cathedral and the Town Museum. You can have a meal at one of the many restaurants in the Old Town and even hire a tour guide for a more in-depth experience of the Old Town.
Korčula Old Town is just such a beautiful city, and you really do need to see it from different vantage points to appreciate its full beauty. So we recommend going and looking around for lookout points around the city so that you can see it from different angles.
Another popular activity in Korčula Old Town is visiting the Marco Polo Museum. It's a widely held belief that this island was the birthplace of the famous explorer. He was the original bucket list traveller, and you can find out all about him here at the Marco Polo Museum.
Korčula Island is also a popular cycling destination. And finally, don't forget to visit one of the local vineyards for some delicious Croatian wine while you're there.
This is Bilin Beach, and it's one of the few beaches on Korčula which is sandy. There are a couple of pebbles like this, but there's also a lot of sand. So I know a lot of people prefer the sand, it's softer on their feet, so it's a nice beach from that perspective. And another feature of this beach, which is quite handy for families with young kids, is that it's very shallow as well. It looks like it's wading depth for probably out 50 metres or so, so that makes it very easy for young kids to have a nice time on the beach. There's also a cool looking restaurant that looks like it was made out of an old church or a converted boathouse, I'm not sure, but it looks pretty nice, and it's perfectly situated on the waterfront. Another popular beach a short drive from Korčula Old Town is Vela Pržina Plaža. It is the largest sandy beach on Korčula and has a popular restaurant overlooking the water. Our favourite beach on the whole island, however, was Pupnatska Luca Beach, around a 25-minute drive from Korčula Old Town and a local secret. We were lucky enough to visit it with our wonderful host Milica.
We are on perhaps the most beautiful beach in all of Croatia. This is Pupnatska Luka. It is on Korčula Island, and it is so stunning. Like, look at the colour of that water. So we feel extremely lucky to be staying at an apartment owned by Milica and Mijo. They have brought us here to show us their beach. They've got a restaurant which is opening up for the summer season. They do beautiful fresh fish caught right from the ocean here. Milica is a fantastic cook, and we actually shared a coffee with them just before, which was lovely. And it is just the most tranquil place. So definitely come here when you're in Korčula. We'll put links in the video description. And if you want to stay with Milica as well, she's a fantastic host and has some really nice accommodation with beautiful ocean views of Korčula. So we'll put a link in the video description as well.
What's also really great about Pupnatska Luca Beach is that the pebbles are really fine, so they're not the really big heavy pebbles that you'll find on other beaches in Korčula, so it's really quite nice on your feet. You don't need reef shoes or anything like that. It's just perfect, the perfect beach in Croatia.
Well, I think we found the best lunch spot in Korčula. This is Kavana number 1. It's a beautiful large balcony area overlooking the old town and the water, and we have a couple of seafood dishes here. So this is a grilled calamari, and it comes with sides that are typical of this area, so potato and spinach. And then we have the sea bass as well, and you can't beat that view. This looks beautiful, so I'm going to give it a try. Seafood is very popular around Croatia, particularly around the coast and the islands, and yeah, there's just so much beautiful food on offer. That's grilled to perfection. The calamari, it isn't too chewy, which I like. It's quite a nice texture to it, and it goes really well with those sides as well. This is delicious.
Another popular dish along the Dalmatian coast that you must try is the tuna steak. It looks closer to a beefsteak, and the taste is closer to pork or chicken than the canned tuna you might be used to. Very delicious. A pasta specialty created on Korčula Island that you should also look out for is the Zrnovski macaruni.
I haven't seen a pasta shaped like this before, so this is really nice. Yeah, so then it comes with, I think this is beef. It's a really nice sauce. It's kind of like a bolognese. Very tasty, and pasta's cooked perfectly, so very appetizing dish. This was $1.40 tuna. For a local treat, visit a pekara or a Croatian bakery for some delicious local biscuits. We sampled the cukaraini biscuits from Vela Luka and the nut-filled Klasuni biscuits from Korčula Old Town. Okay, off we go. I think the best way to see Korčula Old Town is to see it from kayak. So here you're on the open water, you can see the old town from all different angles, and it's just so pretty.
If you've got a bit more cash to spend, you can spend the day on a boat or a yacht. It would just be a great way to enjoy this area. The island of Badija is really pretty. So right behind me you've got the monastery, and it's just overlooking this really beautiful bay with crystal clear water. I can see right down to the bottom, and it's probably around 3 to 5 meters deep. It's just so gorgeous. It looks like there's a fort up the top. We haven't bothered doing that today, but that's something you can do if you want to do a bit more of a hike, and you can circumnavigate around the whole island as well.
And there's deer.
And we saw a deer too. This also appears to be a great anchoring spot for catamarans and yachts, and it looks like a great place to have a swim too. We've kayaked to our own deserted island. This place is so pretty. The water's crystal clear. We've got a pebble beach behind us that we've been able to just enjoy and have a little bit of a swim around in. And we've just spent the last hour or two lounging along these rocks here. Just not a care in the world. It's just very glorious.
Long day on the water.
Long day in the water. Oh, we're finally back in Korčula Old Town. Oh, it's about 7 o'clock now, so we've been out on the water since 9ish. So it's been a long day. Very fruitful and fun day, but a long day. Looking forward to dinner.
Well, we've definitely made the most of it, and it has been such a beautiful day being on the water. I think we've really done Korčula justice. This was a beautiful way to end our time here, and I'm really sad to be leaving. We've had such a beautiful time in Korčula. It's such a beautiful island, and I really want to come back one day.
We hope you enjoyed our video of Korčula Croatia. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and leave us a comment. If you want to see more content like this and follow us on our bucket list journey around the world, then make sure you subscribe.
We are Bucket List Travellers.
See you next time.